What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Ritual Beast. Now, Ritual Beast is a very interesting deck. Even though it says Ritual, there is no ritualing in this deck. And this deck, I say, almost a year ago, I actually got Cannon Hawk back to 3 because it was limited at 1. So before we get into the video, I just want to mention to subscribe because more than half the people watching this video are not subscribed. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. First off, I run 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Elder. Ritual Beast Tamer Elder is essentially a double summon for the deck because after you normal summon this card, you can normal summon one Ritual Beast monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon. So it's really good at getting a multiple of your Ritual Beasts on the field, considering there's multiple of them that have effects when they are normal summoned. I also run 3 Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. Lara, if this card is normal summoned, you can target a Ritual Beast monster in your graveyard, so it's a monster reborn. I also run the 1 Ritual Beast Tamer Zephramplixia. When this card is normal or pendulum summoned, you can target a Ritual Beast monster or Zephyr monster in your graveyard, except itself, special summon it but destroy it during the end phase. So it's a worse Laura, essentially. Next, I run the 3 Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. You know, one thing I've been wondering with some of these decks is that I keep saying names like Winda and Tamer and all stuff like that. I wonder if there's like some sort of like lore, kind of like with the World Legacy stuff. Now, Winda, if this card is in its owner's possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card, special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your deck or extra deck ignoring its summoning conditions. So this is when you definitely want it to be destroyed. So like one thing, like if you're going second, you can just summon it, attack, and then you can just special summon one of your Ritual Beast fusions from the extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, obviously, which is pretty cool. I also run 3 Spiritual Beast Cannon Hawk. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from your deck, face up, during your second standby phase. After this effect's activation, add that banished card by this effect back to your hand. So it's a gold star, essentially. I also run the 3 Spiritual Beast Rampengu. Once per turn, you can banish Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck and then send 1 Ritual Beast monster with the same type as that monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it's good at getting your fusions to the grave, or banishing your fusion, but not that that does anything. But it's also good at getting your Ritual Beast or Spiritual Beast that you want into the grave. I also run the 2 Ritual Beast Tamer Wen. One, if it is normal summon, you can target one of your banished Ritual Beast monsters, special summon it. Although you can only special summon Ritual Beast Tamer Wen once per turn. Also run the 1 Pedalpin and Apelio. The only reason I run these 2 is for the Aqua and Pyro types, because your ulti versions of these cards are Aqua and Pyro, so it really helps in getting those out. Next is a card I unfortunately do not have, and that is Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter, if you control no card, or I think if you have no cards in your graveyard or something like that, you can send it to the graveyard until your next turn. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished, so it's really good at getting your cards banished. And additionally, it also hurts your opponent too. Also run the 1 Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms. Since you want to banish your Ritual Beast monsters, this really helps with making sure that goes through. Moving on to the spells. I run 3 Perform Pal Popper Up. Now, Popper Up, you can send up to 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard to draw that many cards. Then you can special summon up to that many cards from your hand with different names that are Perform Pal, Magician Pendulum, or Odd Eyes, which you don't run any of that, so that won't happen. If you're not special summoned by this effect, you lose 1,000 life points for each card in your hand. So this one does deal you a lot of damage, but you gain more from... What you mainly want to do is get those Ritual Beasts to the grave and get more into your hand, essentially. So you want it for that first effect, although you are going to be taking, I'd say usually around 2,000 to 3,000 damage, depending on how much cards are in your hand, obviously. I also run 3 Double Summon. If you don't control the, or if you don't have Ritual Beast Tamer Elder, you're not going to have that Double Summon effect, so having a Double Summon definitely helps in case you don't open your Elder. Also run the 1 Monster Reborn, because Monster Reborn is always a good card. An Upstart, because I added an extra spot. A Dimensional Fissure, because you want your cards to get banished And this one also hurts your opponent too, especially if it's a Grave Reliant deck. I also run the 1 Foolish Burial and the 1 Emergency Teleport because most of the Ritual Beasts are Psychic monsters. Moving on to the traps, I run 3 Ritual Beast Ambush. Ambush, you can target a Ritual Beast Tamer monster and one of your Special Beast monsters that are banished or in your grave. Special summon in defense position. After this card is activated, you cannot special summon monsters except Ritual Beasts for the rest of this turn. So this is really good at getting back your banished or cards in grave. I also run the 1 Steeds. Steeds, if you control a Ritual Beast monster, you can destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you currently control. So you'll be destroying, if you have say 2 Ritual Beasts, then you'll be destroying 2. But originally, like I saw like some people running this at 3, but I'm like, you know what, it's not that good because there's a lot of cards that have protection from destruction, have floating effects. So I just cut it down to 1. And I also run the 1 Macrocosmos. Moving on to the extra deck. First off, I run the 3 Ritual Beast Ulti Cannonhawk. This was the card that for a while was actually limited to 1. Now the way the Ritual Beast fusions works is that they must be special summoned by banishing the above materials or the above cards you control. For Cannonhawk, it's 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast monster. Once per turn, you can target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, add 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. During either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck. You can target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast, special summon them in defense position. So this is your like a searcher in a way. It's essentially one of your best cards for the extra deck. I also run the 2 Ritual Beast Ulti Apelio. Apelio requires a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast, and if this card attacks, it is unaffected by other cards' effects until the end of the damage step. During either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck and target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast, special summon them in defense position. I also run the 1 Ulti Petalfin. Now, Petalfin cannot be destroyed by a card effect, and during either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck and target 2 of your banished monsters, same as the first 2 Ritual Beasts to special summon them. Now, I also run 1 Ritual Beast Ulti Gaia Pelio. Now, Gaia Pelio is kind of like, I'd say, the boss monster of this deck. It requires 1 Ritual Beast Ulti, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer, and 1 Spiritual Beast. And during either player turn, when a spell, trap, card, or monster effect is activated, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your hand, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This is where the Perform Power Popper-Up kind of comes in, at best. So let's say you have 3 non-Ritual Beast monsters or cards in your hand. You can essentially send them to the grave and draw 3 more and have potentially 3 more targets for Ulti Gaia Pelio. I also run the 2 Ritual Beast Ulti Kimu Falcos. Kimu Falcos is a very key part in this deck. It requires 2 Ritual Beast monsters. Ritual Beast monsters this card points to, gain 600 attack, and then you can banish 1 Ritual Beast card from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. You can also summon a Ritual Beast monster from your hand. You can only use the effect of Ritual Beast Ulti Kimu Falcos once per turn. It also has a quick effect. You return this card you control to the extra deck to target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast, special summon them in defense position. I also run 1 Linkuriboh because Laura is level 1. Not that it's going to come up too much because you're mainly going to be going into your Ritual Beast extra deck. I also run the 1 Cross Sheep because you do run fusions, and IEP Masquerena as well as a Nightmare Unicorn. I also run an Access Code, Apollousa, and Underworld Goddess to round out the extra deck. So what do you think of this deck profile? Do you think Ritual Beast is pretty cool? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.